That's where that comes from.
Okay.
Platonic Plato. That's where the word comes from. Okay, so that's what it's talking about. You know, in other words, we're strictly, you know, have this mental connection. We're good friends or whatever. Okay, there's no physical connection there. Okay, so Aristotle and Plato, and this is a major rift in the way we look at reality. So you can see, and who did Aristotle study under? Who did he learn from?
Plato.
Excellent. You remember something. Good. All right, you're retaining. Yeah, Aristotle learned from Plato, but see, he goes in a totally different direction with things because, and again, who was Aristotle? I mean, as far as socially speaking, who was his dad? What did his dad do for a living? He was a doctor. He was a physician. So you wonder, was it that influence? Seeing his father's work, did he just have that very materialistic kind of mindset about corporeal existence, about human bodies, things like that? And was it something in his family that influenced him? Even though he studied under Plato, he had that deeply ingrained. Possibly, we don't know. We can't go back in time and find these things out for sure. We can't put him under the psych evaluation and say, this is what happened here. But we can say that even though he was mentored by Plato, he chose to go a very different direction in his metaphysics. Very, very different direction.
They don't get along, do they? Aristotle and Plato from chapter 2 or whatever.
That mutual respect for each other.
Oh yeah. Now there was.
Aristotle did not believe, like whenever you told us to read. No, that was on the
That was
last
that
two
big
questions or
whatever big one.
Yeah, like
For Semicus?
No, the essence of all that. The essence.
Yeah, well, that's dealing with reality. It's dealing with what you can know. That's why I included that.
Aristotle did not go with Plato and not.
No, yeah, no, they're the twain shall never meet. Yeah, for Plato, yes, you're trying to know the forms. For Aristotle, you will never immediately know the essence. You're never, the form is you're only going to know the attributes of it. You can't know its essence directly. And I use the example of a human being. We say, do you ever really know a person's heart is the term that we use. Do you really? Or do you know how they talk, what they say? Those are all attributes. That's not the essence of the person, is it? That's just their attributes. So you can kind of see where Aristotle's got a little bit of leverage. We ourselves admit you can't really know the essence of a person. You only know what you see. How they act, this and that. And then sometimes people do things that are so seemingly out of character, we call it. Wow, where'd that come from? That person isn't like that. Well, obviously you didn't know them that well, did you? They did it. Same person. So, these are the kind of things that kind of give a little credibility to what Aristotle's saying. All right. Let's talk about free will and determinism. Okay, free will. How many of you believe that you are absolutely free to choose anything that you want to? 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. Only one's out. You don't think so? You're not absolutely. You think you are absolutely free?
I wouldn't say absolutely.
Okay. Free to choose. Okay.
We choose. I think I'm free to do whatever I want to. Sometimes I choose not to. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm asking.
I'm free to shoot you, but I'm not going to.
That's right. You're free to. Oh, provided that you're free to go buy the gun or obtain the gun, provided that you're free to go jump in your. No, I'm taking it. I'm not taking any kind of No, I've said a few things that I had to go. The recording you. I'm using a hypothetical. I'm making a joke. I'm going to be careful with it.
I think we're bound by consequences.
Okay, you're bound by consequences. So you have physical restrictions, don't you? Okay, good. Okay, but I'm talking about internal restrictions. I'm talking about mentally. You are free to choose. Now, whether you are able to follow through with that is another story. If you drop dead of a heart attack, obviously you can't follow through on what you plan to do tomorrow if you drop dead of a heart attack today, right? So you are limited physically. You have physical limitations. You have limitations of space and time. I can't choose to go do something right now in Germany because it's too far away for me to get there right now. And I don't know if I've got enough on me for airfare if I want to go tomorrow, frankly. So, but we can choose a lot of things, but we are limited by our physical circumstances. Okay, let's take that a step further. All right. A determinist says everything is caused by natural laws. Hard determinism is another term for pure determinism. I use them interchangeably, so don't make a distinction between hard determinism and determinism. I use them interchangeably. It just kind of more of an emphasis on there is no room for much of any choice, and I'll talk about that in a second. All our choices are caused, determinist says. Now, you might ask, caused by what? Doesn't really matter, okay? Whether you're theological on that, whether you believe there's a God or don't, just yet, it really doesn't matter, because ultimately we're just talking about natural laws. Now, you could say God set whatever in motion if you believe that way, or you could just say, everything is just a domino effect of nature. And here's what I'm going to talk about. Your book does get into this. He uses a very kind of long, drawn-out scenario with Gulliver's Travels, and he kind of goes on into that subject for some time. But I'm going to just break it down. I'm going to use kind of his example, but I'm going to make it a little simpler. Here on the board, I'm going to roll this up for a second. Hold on to that thought. Alright. Okay. You have choices every day. Get this thing working here. Let's call these. Sounds to me every semester. Alright. Let's call these big lines choices. Alright? In between, these are major, not necessarily major decisions, but I decide to walk to the door and open the door or whatever. Just, you're making a conscious decision, these big lines, alright? Now, underneath those big lines are little thoughts going on in the background, right? Oh, I need to go to my car to get I left my keys in my car, or whatever. So I need to go, da-da-da-da. Okay, so you got lots of little thoughts going on in between, right? That's what's going on when you're making decisions. There's a reason usually for the decision, and so you're thinking about, oh, I can't leave keys in car because somebody might see them and either just steal the keys or take off with my car. One of those options, or open my trunk and get my whatever you got, purse or whatever, right? So you got all these little things that are going on that we don't think about consciously because we don't have to. It's a lot of little thoughts going on subconsciously, or in the background, so to speak. So you got these little bitty marks that the camera can't even probably pick up here. But what about genetically? Genetically, see now, will a fish choose to live on land?
No.
Why? Why would a fish not choose to live on land?
Well, they probably did back in the day, but they knew they got live. So, like, that one dude, what's that theory of revolution or evolution?
Darwin.
Darwin says, yeah, like,
All right.
maybe they tried.
Maybe they tried.
Yeah.
Tried to live on land, and obviously they were the weaker of the big guy real
There are
fast.
some fish that live on land. And I watched this Over special thing called Live, and I've got a T-boat, and I will bring it. I can't.
Okay, so there's some fish that can live out of water.
There's one
Yes.
prehistoric fish that if the pond dries up, he can get on land, his fins are developed, and he can walk across, I think he
Yeah.
said for like a week or a month or something.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they thought it was extinct, and then they found it.
Oh, I'm talking about now, but
Yeah.
in some different country, but there's, fish that do live on land.
Fish that live on land.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd like to see that. You take a bass, and anybody fishermen around here, bass fish, or you take a fish any of the fish that I know of,
Oh, yeah, no.
and you throw them on land, and they don't live very long. Yeah. So that's the fish I know.
Yeah, no,
okay?
it's natural.
So if a bass, let's just say a bass, will a bass choose to live on land?
No.
Yeah, they won't choose to live on land, will they? My point is simply this. you don't do what's outside of your nature, do you?